لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلاة الله عليه صلاة الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله عليه صلاة الله عليه صلاة الله. Children are wearing new clothes, bright colors fill the streets. Their faces full of laughter, their pockets full of sweets. Let us rejoice indeed, this is the day of Eid.
Last month we had Professor Big Boss from the University of Lagos. Today we also have from the University of Lagos our brother who needs no introduction whatsoever, at least amongst the older generations. Is one of the sets of the golden age of UNILAG, and that is defined by those who are fortunate to have during their school days Professor Nuruddin Agao, Professor Tajudeen, and Professor Moritada Bidmos at the University of Lagos at the same time. He was one of those who are truly been mentored by each of these scholars. Our brother completed his first degree at the University of Lagos, from where he proceeded to the University of Loughborough in the United Kingdom, where he did his master's in Islamic finance and banking. And from where he proceeded to Nottingham University, where he did his PhD in insurance, returning to Nigeria as the first ever PhD holder at the Department of Insurance at the University of Lagos. So brothers and sisters, without much ado, I welcome our brother and I hand you over to Dr. Tajudeen Yusuf. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah. Wa salatu wa salam ala ashrafil mursalin. Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahabatihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Indeed, all praise is due to Almighty Allah, who is the nourisher and the cherisher of the universe. We bear witness to his oneness, to testify to the messengership and prophethood of Muhammad. May Allah's peace and blessings continue to abide with him, his companions and followers, and all those who are following the Sunnah to the day of judgment. It is indeed a privilege that I have been invited to come and address you, my brothers and sisters in Islam, on a very topical issue, which is an experience that as Muslims we continuously cherish annually. How do we maximize our gains in Ramadan? Well, I believe the discussion is beneficial to every one of us. Why? Because we can appreciate the essence of Ramadan and why we need to prepare for it. I am sure those of us who are here today, we have had some achievements in the past and we continue to flourish. Before we get to where we are today, we must have prepared. We must have brought about some sacrifices,
Because Allah informs us in the Quran, وَأَنْ لَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. Man shall not have except what he is striving for. And Allah also says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Never will Allah change the condition of the people until they change what's in their minds. How do we prepare for Ramadan? And how do we maximize our gains? What is fasting? You know what we are talking about Ramadan, we are talking of fasting. Fasting is the sincere bond of faith between man and his Lord. Because it is something that the scholars defines fasting. Ibadatun, qalbiyatun, sirriyatun, bayn al-abd wa rabbih. It is a worship of the mind, secret between a man and his God. Like we all know, whoever is praying, we can see it. Whoever is giving zakat, we can see it. Whoever has gone on Hajj or Umrah, we can see it. But whoever is fasting, we cannot know. We cannot know. So it is a secret between man and his Lord. And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Hadith Qudsi, as-sawmu li wa ana ajzi bihi. Fasting is for me, and I am the only one that will recompense you for it. You see, fasting also trains man to shift his attention towards the celestial realm. When you are fasting, truly fasting, that means you are not here. It means you are looking forward to something beyond the physical. You have certain beliefs, you have certain expectations that fasting is not of this world. Fasting is of the other world. It also portrays a servant submission and servitude to Allah. Allah gives the command, كُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَسْوَدُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ مِنَ الْفَجْرِ ثُمَّ أَتِمُّوا الصِّيَامَ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ. That eat and drink until the white wool can be distinguished from the black wool, and complete the fast till daybreak. So when you carry out that instruction, it shows you truly submit to Almighty Allah. Now, the question is, I will advise that we just concentrate on the lecture. We are going to have the soft copy of this lecture, which you can go back to. What I have understood, what I have come to understand, is that when we go to programs like this and we are writing, we hardly go back to what we have written. We hardly go back. I don't say we don't go back to it, but we hardly go back. So inshallah, I'm sure you have a soft copy. You can always have access to it. I'm sure it will give us 2 hours. Because there are some of us who are happy, and there are some who are sad. Those who are happy are those who have been used to fasting before it comes. So it is not something unheard of for them. In fact, they are rejoicing that Ramadan is coming. You know, they are rejoicing that Ramadan is coming. Why? Because they are used to fasting. They have been fasting before Ramadan. They have been fasting Monday, Thursday. They have been fasting at least 3 times in a month. They have been fasting in the month of Shawwal. They have been fasting even this Shaban. Some are fasting now, and they have been used to fasting. So fasting is not something that we should hear, they will hear, and they are afraid, they are apprehensive. That it is coming again. Oh. No. And they believe that self-deprivation of worldly passion will guarantee that of the hereafter. Because they are not just thinking of eating and drinking. They are thinking of something far, far greater based on their belief. And they also grab the boundless opportunities in the month. You know? Because Rasulullah has said that لو علمت أمتي ما في رمضان لتمنت أن تكون كل سنة رمضان. If my ummah had known and would grasp the boundless opportunities in Ramadan, they would have wished that all the other months should have the same merits like Ramadan. And there are those who are not happy. Why are they not happy? It's because they are weak spiritually. They are not used to spiritual engagements. They struggle to observe the daily prayers. Not only that, they struggle, they cannot afford to observe voluntary fasting. They struggle. It's like they want to die. And there are those who, they cannot wake up at night. They are not used to waking up at night. Talk less of eating, observing the sahur. So that Ramadan is coming, they are quite apprehensive, they are very anxious that now, so such people are those who cannot play with their stomach, they enjoy eating, they are used to delicacies, they take early, even before breakfast, they know what they eat, for breakfast, they will go for tea break, they always have delicacies stocked in their freezers, their fridges, their offices, well stocked with food, items, drinks, what are you looking for? It's available in their cars. The problem is they've not been able to have a car that has refrigerators. They will have stocked their refrigerators in the car, with something. They can't do without eating, and they eat about 7 times in a day. Before breakfast, their breakfast. After their breakfast, during the duha period, and they take their lunch around 12:1, and by 3-4, they will take their late tea, and they will take their breakfast. And when they go on the road, gala is always available. They will take gala, and la casera is also available too. They are used to eating. So when they go to programs and foods are not served, they don't feel comfortable. And it's like they want to give up. See? So they are not happy that Ramadan is coming. Now what's the significance of Ramadan? That it will demand our preparing for it. I want to sound a note of caution that my presentation, I'm not going to go into the juristic aspect of fasting and Ramadan. I'm only going to talk about preparation. Why we pray that Allah should prolong our lives to witness it. So, part of my presentation, I will be bothering you with a lot of Quranic verses, hadiths. I know you all already know them, and you have access to them. So when I give a point, you know that the references are available to all of you. I don't want to let that fool my presentation. So it's the month of the Quran. We all know that it was in Ramadan that the Quran was revealed. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. And Allah also says the month of patience and perseverance. You know that. You have to be patient and persevere. That's why it says if somebody comes to accost you while you are fasting, just tell that person, I am fasting. I am fasting. So that you bear with a lot of things. You guide what you say, you guide what you know, you guide what you hear, you guide what you do, generally. So when evil thoughts come to your mind, you try to dispel it so that you can really be devoted to Almighty Allah. It's a month in which all the gates of paradise are open, all gates of hellfire are closed and devils are put to chains. And you can see it. We all have the devilish tendencies in us. Yes, we can do both good and bad. That's why Allah says, Kula Awudu, Rabbil Falaq, Min Sharri Ma Khalaq, Min Sharri Ma Khalaq. I seek refuge in Allah, the Lord of the dawn, from the evil of what He has created. All of us here, we are capable of doing both good and evil. Are we not? We are capable of doing both good. So, by so doing, and you see in Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will calm us down. Because all the gates of paradise are open. Ya Baghi al-Khayr, Iqbil, wa Ya Baghi al-Shar, Iqsir, wa lillahi taqaw min Allah. Ramadan is a special gift of Allah to us. You know, Allah is, He's a merciful Lord. Allah is so great, so bountiful. He loves us. And He says, Rahmati, wasi'at kulla shay. My mercy encompasses everything. In fact, His mercy overcomes His anger. That's Allah. Look at us. Look at rain falling. Look at rain falling. Aren't we happy that rain is falling? In the horns of Africa, they are experiencing drought. In Bangladesh, they are experiencing landslides. In the US, Colorado, fire, disaster. And Allah is giving us water. And this is what the people of Nuh, they overlooked. Nuh told them, Yursil alaykum midraran. Look, if you stop all these evils you are doing, Allah will cause rain to fall, intermittently to you, your needs. Go and ask farmers now how they are feeling with this rain. They are happy. All the disasters that we attribute to it in Lagos, most of it are self-caused. Is it not? Self-caused. Self-caused. This place has been in the master plan. It's supposed to be a canal. What happens? Through greed, we go and build on it. When it is raining, we bring out all the rubbish in our house and pour it. Is it not self-caused? So all this rubbish will now go and block the drainage. And what will happen? It will overshoot, its plants and many houses. So most of these things, Allah does not do evil. So when we talk about rain, we should be happy. And you can look at it. What happens? How will you feel? If Allah decides that the rain will be so serious that nobody will be here today, how will you feel? Organizers, how will you feel? That we don't do the event program, how much money we have spent, and we have done all radio announcement, we have bought this and that. You're going to be sad, I mean? But Allah just decides, all of you sit down at home. Sit down, relax, enjoy. I will give you the reward of going to house of assembly. That's how Allah does his thing. It does not mean if we hold this program, it will increase his status. That Allah's man's status will be increased. Or Islam will go beyond, No. So this is how merciful Allah is. Rasulullah said, when you intend to hide it and you oversleep, says relax. Allah, that sleep is a sadaqah from Allah. Sleep. Those who woke up and observe it, you will share the same reward with them. Because niyatul mu'min khayrun min amali. The intention of a believer is better than what he actually did. That's so. A Muslim, every time there is always a win-win situation. You are always winning. You are not losing. If your faith is deep, you understand the way Allah does his things. You say, I want to fast today. By the time you woke up, and you prepared your food, and you just find out that you oversleep. So what happened? Just relax. Allah wants you to enjoy the benefit, the reward of fasting without you not actually fasting. And then it says that even if you are fasting, look at Allah. Even if you are fasting and you mistakenly eat and drink, he said, it is Allah who has given you to go on fasting. So what else do you want? So you continue to see that Allah says, Allah does good. Allah does not do evil. Because he is not capable of evil. Inni haramtu dhulma ala nafsi wa ja'altuhu bainakum muharraman fala tadhallamu. I have made injustice forbidden for myself, and I'm going to forbid it for you. You will never be unjust. So we Muslims, we are blessed, alhamdulillah. And it's the month of Laylatul Qadr, night of power. And you know Laylatul Qadr, the ibadah you do on that night is better than what you will have done for 83 years and 4 months. How many of us is sure he will be up to 80 before he dies? How many of us is sure? How many of us are sure that we will live up to 80? I mean, do we want to live up to the 80? 90? 90? We want to be up to 90. Have you seen somebody who is 90? How are they enjoying life? How are they enjoying the life? How many of what you say they hear? How many of what you watch they see? How active are they? How active are they? That's why Allah says, وَمَنْ نُعَمِّرْهُ نُنَقِّصُهُ فِي الْخَلْقِ أَفَلَا يَعْقِلُونَ. Whoever we promote, we prolong his life, we reduce him in creation. Can't you think? They cannot hear well. Many of us now cannot read. I cannot read now without glasses. Sometimes you feel that even when your wife is talking to you, you cannot hear her properly. Okay, no, she's asking for money. Because, so, you see, as Muslims, we are always winners. We are always winners. Alhamdulillah, ala ni'matul Islam. As a month of acceptance of dua, it's a month of jihad. You know that the first battle between truth and falsehood, battle of Badr, started in Ramadan, was fought in Ramadan. In Ramadan. The conquest of Makkah was in Ramadan. The conquest of Jerusalem by the Muslims during the time of Umar was in Ramadan. Many conquests by our Muslim ancestors was in Ramadan. So Ramadan is not a month of negligence, or a month of passivity, or a month of rest. Rather, it's a month of struggle, struggling to do what? To attain the pleasure of Allah. As a month of spending, because while you are fasting, you are appreciating what those who are not as blessed as you are going through. You see, sometimes, so certain things are difficult to imagine. Certain things are difficult to imagine that somebody would be, he will not be sure of the 3 square meals a day. Sometimes it's difficult for you to imagine how can somebody be so poor that they cannot 3 square meals a day. But I tell you, millions are going through that. You too are now, Allah makes you now to experience that so that you can be generous towards these people. Now we have to train in preparation for Ramadan. We have to maximize our gains. Because there are those who are looking forward to Ramadan, but they will not meet Ramadan. There are those who experience the early part, they will not see the end. And there are those whose this is their last Ramadan. They won't live till next year. There are those who will live and live and live and live, which we are hoping that we will be part of them. But whatever category you fall, know fully well that it is not actually observing the fast and doing all the ibadats that are important. You know the most important thing? Acceptance by Allah. It is not what you actually do that is important. The intention behind that action or the intention behind that inaction that is important. So that is why a Muslim, whenever he has done any good deeds he has done, do you know what he will do? He's doing? He will just look down and be thinking, I've done it. Has he accepted it? Has he accepted it? Because I will not even know whether he accepted it or not. I can't know. There's no way I can know. I will only know after I'm dead. I can't know it. I can't know. Allah has chosen not to expose the answers to all of us. That's why he says it is only when we escape fire and we are admitted in Al-Jannah that we have truly succeeded. It is only then. Because not entering fire does not mean automatic admission into paradise. It doesn't mean so. For some people will be in between. They are part. Hellfire. Part. Paradise. They won't be neither here nor there. So it is when you escape hellfire and you go to paradise that you are fully succeeded. Chapter 3, verse 185. And also, our lifespan is unknown to us. We don't know how long we're going to live. We don't know. Perhaps you look at yourself as, I just did my medical checkup and I'm okay. No cholesterol, no fat, no blood pressure, no diabetes, no cancer, no nothing. I'm okay. Who told you that health status matters when Azariah is coming? Who told you? Who told you? So it's not a matter of health status. Take care of your health, fine. Yes, you must take care of our health. You go for medical checkup. But mind you, you are not doing it with the mind of living so long and that will prolong your life. No. It's Allah who determines the lifespan. And it has been finished, settled. When you were 4 months old in your mother's womb, the day your pregnancy was 4 months in your mother's womb, that was where everything was settled. Your sustenance, your lifespan, your work, and your faith. Already settled. So we just came to this one that everybody is searching for his own. How he will meet his own destiny. Wherever we are going to do what? To meet your destiny. Death is not something you can shy away from. It will come. There is no amount of protection. It's going with you. If you think it's going to come through the air, it can come through the land, or it can come through the sea. You know, they used to pray, we cannot be in our house and danger comes to meet us. It doesn't follow. If you look right and left, whatever off, it can happen. It can happen. So that's why as Muslims, what we always desire us of is His pleasure. His pleasure, His pleasure, His pleasure. And then we don't know the last deed we are going to do before He will call us. But the last deed matters. Because we shall be raised up on the last deed we perform. The last deed we perform. That's why the Prophet said, I will anoint our tifah. The last deed, oh Allah, let our last deed be our best deed. Let our last deed be our best deed. Now, we need to prepare spiritually by repenting from sins and iniquities. Why do we commit sins? Why do we commit sins? I can mention 3 reasons. 1, ignorance. Sometimes we do not know the enormity of the sin we commit. As far as Allah is concerned, we don't know the enormity. 2, social pressures. Social pressures. I need to meet up with social standards. You can see, for most of us, it is not meeting the basic needs of life that's our problem. It is trying to meet up with the society.